What's the best way to protect your hard drive data? A. Regular backups. B. Periodically defrag it. C. Run chkdsk at least once a week. D. Run ScanDisk at least once a week. The correct answer is regular backups. On a dot matrix printer you should never lubricate which part? A. Carriage rails. B. Printhead pins. C. Paper advance bearings. D. Carriage bearings. The correct answer is printhead pins. How many devices can be used on a single SCSI bus? Keep in mind that the SCSI host adapter counts as a device. A. 1. B. 8. C. 20. D. 10. The correct answer is 8. Match the device driver HIMEM.SYS to its operation. A. Supports ANSI terminal emulation. B. Manages the use of extended memory. C. Uses expanded memory on a 80386 processor. D. Supports code page switching. The correct answer is manages the use of extended memory. Help prevent power surges. A. Surge suppressor. B. Spike protector. C. UPS system. D. High-grade multimeter. The correct answer is surge suppressor. The digital multimeter is set for DC ohm and 20K. You will read while measuring a good 2 amp fuse. A. 0.00. B. 0.02. C. 0.20. D. 2.00. The correct answer is 0.00. An anti-static strap uses a small to make sure you do not become the least path of resistance to the ground. A. Capacitor. B. Diode. C. Transistor. D. Resistor. The correct answer is resistor. If the memory slots have 30 pins, then the chip is A. DIMM. B. SIM. C. SDRAM. D. All of the above. The correct answer is SIM. Laser jet printer speeds are measured in pages per minute ppm. What do we use to measure dot matrix printers? A. Lines per inch. B. Lines per sheet. C. Characters per inch. D. Characters per second. The correct answer is characters per second. Which values are held in CMOS for the hard drive? A. Size heads, cylinders, sectors. B. IRQ. C. Free space. D. Virus alert. The correct answer is size heads, cylinders, sectors. Which of the following would be a logical first step in troubleshooting a PC? A. Check the computer CMOS. B. Define the circumstances of the problem. C. Call the vendor. D. Define what applications are being used. The correct answer is define the circumstances of the problem. Which DOS driver is used to emulate expanded memory? A. HIMEM.SYS. B. EMM386.X. C. MEM386.SYS. D. ROMDrive.SYS. The correct answer is EMM386.X. For a Macintosh to print successfully, the system folder must contain A. File sharing software. B. A printer enabler. C. The Apple Garaman font set. D. A printer driver. The correct answer is a printer driver. Which component must be vacuumed or replaced during preventative maintenance on a laser printer? A. Scanning mirror. B. Toner cartridge. C. Ozone filter. D. All of the above. The correct answer is ozone filter. Which device uses a DMA channel? A. Modem. B. Network card. C. Sound card. D. All of the above. The correct answer is sound card. When is the risk for electrostatic discharge the greatest? A. Daytime. B. High humidity. C. Low humidity. D. Night time. The correct answer is low humidity. A modem could be attached to which port? A. Parallel port. B. A sync port. C. Keyboard connector. D. Video port. The correct answer is parallel port. What device prevents power interruptions resulting in corrupted data? A. Battery backup unit. B. Surge protector. C. Multiple SIMMs strips. D. Data guard system. The correct answer is battery backup unit. SCSI must be terminated with A. Dip switch. B. Resistor. C. BNC. D. All of the above. The correct answer is resistor. In a computer with an eide adapter, where should you connect an ATA CD-ROM drive? A. On the floppy bus. B. On the primary eide. C. On the secondary eide. D. On the SCSI bus. The correct answer is on the secondary eide. What is the highest binary number that can be referred to on a 3-position jumper block? A. 4. B. 6. C. F. D. 1. The correct answer is 1. During boot up the memory test, A. is a superfluous step that should be ignored. B. checks and verifies that contiguous memory is installed. C. is an operational error. D. displays what memory is installed but nothing else. The correct answer is checks and verifies that contiguous memory is installed. IRQ6 is typically reserved for A. the floppy. B. the keyboard controller. C. LPT2. D. the modem. The correct answer is the floppy. Which would you do first when troubleshooting a faulty monitor? A. check its connections to the computer and power source. B. use a meter to check the CRT and internal circuitry for continuity. C. power down the monitor, then turn it on again to see if that corrects the problem. D. power down the computer, then turn it on again to see if that corrects the problem. The correct answer is check its connections to the computer and power source. To install a second eide drive into a computer, you must A. set the master-slave jumper to slave on the second drive. B. use the eide configuration software to set the new drive as slave. C. verify that you define the new drive as D in the CMOS setup. D. verify that you attach the drive to the connector at the end of the ribbon cable. The correct answer is set the master-slave jumper to slave on the second drive. Why does a successfully mapped network drive disappear every time you boot the computer? A. the computer you are connected to has moved. B. you didn't click reconnect on log on. C. the map statement is not in the autoexec.bat file. D. the last drive was not set correctly. The correct answer is the map statement is not in the autoexec.bat file. What do you need to check serial and parallel port? A. port adapter. B. logic probe. C. loopback plug. D. all of the above. The correct answer is loopback plug. You have a PC with no video. Which of the following is least likely to be causing the problem? A. defective RAM bank 0. B. defective microprocessor. C. crashed hard drive. D. loose video card. The correct answer is crashed hard drive. To test for AC ripple on a PC power supply, you would set the volt-ohm meter for A. DC voltage scale. B. AC voltage. C. ohm scale. D. farad scale. The correct answer is AC voltage. You get a CMOS checksum error during bootup. What is most likely the cause? A. power supply is bad. B. BIOS needs updating. C. CMOS battery is nearing end of life. D. hard drive types are incorrectly defined. The correct answer is CMOS battery is nearing end of life. On the 16-bit ISA bus IRQ2 is elevated to which higher level interrupt? A9, B11, C13, D15. The correct answer is 9. When measuring AC alternating current with a multimeter, it is important to maintain the proper polarity. A true, B false, C, D. The correct answer is false. After trying to unload a TSR, you get an error message saying that other TSRs were loaded after the one you tried to remove. Which of the following commands could you use to see the current load order? A MEMP, B MAMAker, C MEMC, D SYS. The correct answer is SYS. What is a common language that computers use to talk with one another on a network? A client, B adapter, C protocol, D operating systems. The correct answer is protocol. When measuring AC alternating current with a multimeter, it is important to maintain the proper polarity. A true, B false, C, D. The correct answer is false. Which DOS driver is used to emulate expanded memory? A HIMEM.SYS, B EMM386.X, C MEM386.SYS, D ROM-drive.sys. The correct answer is EMM386.X. Which should you use for cleaning Mylar-protected LCD screens? A ammonia window cleaner, B non-abrasive cleanser, C anti-static wipes, D alcohol impregnated wipes. The correct answer is non-abrasive cleanser. What could cause a fixed disk error? A no CD installed, B bad RAM, C slow processor, D incorrect CMOS settings. The correct answer is incorrect CMOS settings. ESD potential decreases with the use of A deionizing fans, B a wrist strap, C rubber gloves with matching cap, D a static meter. The correct answer is a wrist strap. Which of the following FRUs would be considered both an input-output device? A video board, B SCSI host adapter, C system board CPU, D all of the above. The correct answer is SCSI host adapter. A COM port is a port. A parallel, B serial, C static, D multi. The correct answer is serial. Which device is on IRQ6? A keyboard, B eide, C floppy drive, D video card. The correct answer is floppy drive. A system has two eide hard drives that are each divided into primary and extended partitions. Which drive letter is assigned to the primary partition of the second drive? A C, B D, C E, D F. The correct answer is D. What is the most significant difference between the USB and IEEE1394 standards? A IEEE1394 is faster. B USB does not support USB. C USB is plug and play. D IEEE1394 is hot swappable. The correct answer is IEEE1394 is faster. When connecting two internal SCSI hard disks to a computer, where do you connect the second hard drive? A any open SCSI port on the computer. B a serial port on the first host adapter. C an open parallel port on the computer. D an open SCSI port on the first hard drive. The correct answer is any open SCSI port on the computer. When connecting a ribbon cable to a connector, how do you know which direction to plug it in? The red line in the cable goes to the highest pin number. B. The colored line in the cable goes to pin 1. C. It does not matter. D. The blue or red line in the cable goes away from the power connector. The correct answer is the colored line in the cable goes to pin 1. What is the first step in diagnosing a completely dead computer at the client side that was working the day before? A. Test the power supply. B. Replace the CMOS battery. C. Check the AC outlet. D. Reseat the hard drive controller cable. The correct answer is check the AC outlet. What specification covers PC hard cards? A. SCSI. B. ISA. C. PCMSIA. D. MFM. The correct answer is PCMSIA.